Hello everybody, it's Richard the Urban Warlock from Urban Warlock Healing here. So this video is about what is source. You might have heard that term before. Now, just to let you know that these little videos that are coming up, they're all kind of, I suppose, basic understanding and terminology in regard to spirituality. A little bit of paganism and stuff like that involved as well. Reason being is because I'm going to be doing one of my dark side of spirituality videos, but it's going to be a bit of a big one. And I was having to think about it on the dog walk, and I thought could probably do it explaining that, because as it stands at the moment, it's probably going to be like 2 or 3 parts, and I don't want to waste any more time explaining stuff. So. This is about source. It's not about something you put on your chips. You probably come across it if you watch the tarot readings or the spirituality videos and stuff like that. So source, in essence, is God, if you want to call it that. Other terms I generally tend to use words like universe instead of source. Being a pagan, I also say goddess and god. Some people just go for goddess. It's whatever feels comfortable for you. Now, in spirituality, source is not your Christian old bearded guy. Source is basically light, frequency, and energy. Now, depending on your belief system, and again, I will stress that I'm going to be touching on my belief system, but again, with things like spirituality and religion, nobody can say that they are right, okay? And you take what you want. You take what sits comfortably for you, and you go along with that. And nobody can tell you you are wrong. And if they do, you give them the big finger, okay? Simple as that. Right, so for a lot of spiritualists, source is light, basically. It's light, bright white light, and it's all good and positive and stuff like that. Now, from my learning of bits and bobs of spirituality, again, I've not gone into loads of detail, so a lot of these videos are based on bits and bobs I've picked up, things that people have said, and then put my own kind of thought process on it, because my belief is that we are here living the human experience. We are souls within a human body, learning the human experience. And for me, I don't want to take away from those human elements. Anyway, back on track, Richard. Right, so for a lot of spiritualists, God and source is good, and there is nothing outside of that. And when we pass over, our spirit form is good. There is no dark. The only darkness is here on earth. The idea, which is a little bit of a controversial one really, for me at least, is that, source is just all about experiencing and gathering knowledge. So we are all connected to source in some way. We are little offshoots, if you want to call it that. Things like angels, they have no free will, so that kind of ties into the same kind of Christian belief-based system, or Catholic-based belief system. We here on earth, we souls, we have free will, okay? And the idea is that we live this experience. When we pass over, we then go through that kind of motion of looking back on our life. What did we do right? What lessons do we need to learn? And all that information goes back to source. So in effect, source is a sociopathic supercomputer. What the point of it is, we don't know. That'll probably be the next question when you go on to become a spirit. Questioning the greater reason to why source seems to just be obsessed with information. Maybe we are part of the matrix. That's a theory as well, isn't it? Anyway, the idea is that source is love and light. Okay, and that is where that term comes from that drives me absolutely crazy. Okay. The reason why it drives me crazy is because a lot of the love and light brigade, as I call them, they're a bit like born again Christians. You know what I mean? They come along and they're all like Jesus saves and stuff like that. And for me, it's not like that. It's not the world I live in, I'm afraid. All power to you if that's the road that you are going down. It just doesn't fit in with who I am, what I believe, and the way I practice. So for me, I call Source or God the goddess and God, because I come from I say a pagan background. I've not always been a pagan, it's the last like 10 years or so, but because of my witchcraft and stuff like that, I kind of go for goddess and God. Now the reason why I stick to that, even though I have gone slightly more spiritual, is because for me, Source is not just light, but it is also dark. Okay, because for me, everything that we know on this planet, scientifically, everything is about balance. It's about opposing balance. So it's yin and yang, whatever you want to say it. It's masculine, it's feminine. Okay, it's light, it's dark. Everything we know about creation, everything we know about opposing energies, there is, you know, for light you have to have dark. So for me, there is dark out there. Okay, now dark, there was a video and Charlie Rose shared it. It was a repost and I didn't save the bloody thing. There was this other kind of spiritualist type person, and they were kind of saying what I believe. So if I find it, I'll repost it. But frustration. Anyway, you know, dark doesn't always mean bad. Dark can be certain ways of learning. You know what I mean? It's certain aspects of our personality. It's, you know, it's like nighttime, for example. Nighttime isn't bad. We just have a little bit of a fear of the dark because things go off that we cannot see. Okay. So for me, that's why I stick with goddess and God, because goddess and God is the masculine and the feminine. Okay, without upsetting any kind of non-binary or gender neutral people, you know, creation, you need a kind of a positive and a negative, or a masculine and a feminine. Okay, you know, you cannot create a child with eggs alone. You know what I mean? You need the sperm, so that would be the masculine and the feminine. So for me, I see it slightly differently, this Source. I see it as light and dark. Now for me, yes, as kind of earth-based souls, we are trying to levitate to the light side of things, because that is kind of our task. You know what I mean? That is our task as souls. However, there is still the dark there. And the dark tries to, in the kind of human-based form, it tries to corrupt us. Okay, so actually things like fear and greed, you know, possession, all those kind of debase things about being human. Now, as it stands at the moment, the people who run the world are extremely corrupt and feed off those debased things, and they use fear to keep us trapped in this cycle and system. So us as kind of light workers and star seeds and stuff like that, which I'm going to do another video on at some point, just to explain that concept. Our role is to try and break people away from that fear and that cycle and that system that is keeping us suppressed. So yes, when people talk about Source in their videos, that is what they are on about. Like I say, find what works for you. If you want to stick to God, that is perfectly fine. I don't like using that word because I've got these kind of negative connotations attached to Christianity, where it's very masculine dominated. Now, the other thing is that us as starseeds and light workers in this ascension process, it's about bringing in the feminine, okay? It's about bringing in the feminine energies, okay? And that causes a better balance, it causes more harmony, it removes fear and kind of doubt and negativity and stuff like that. So this is why, again, for me, it's about balance, goddess and God. But yes, I hope that explains it a bit. It's a bit hard to do this stuff even in 10 minutes. But yeah, keep a watch out for more videos, because like I say, it is building up to my elongated darker side of spirituality. It is going to be an extreme trigger warning for that one, so just keep an eye out. But until next time, stay safe, love and light.